is a huge, huge honor today to be in Las Vegas at the 14th annual Townie meeting this year, 2016, with two of my mentors and idols, Mark Dilatush, New Patients Inc., Howie Horrocks, New Patients Inc. You guys are
he's the godfather of marketing.
You're the godfather of marketing?
Yes,
are you guys co-founders? Or
he's the founder. We're business partners.
And this is Lee Buzard, who's the Vice President of Professional Relations. And if you're in charge of professionalism, we need to talk. I've been in Vegas with these guys 20 times, and Mark only behaves when he's on a fishing boat. And that's only because he's there by himself and there's no witnesses. He's probably drinking on that boat, too. Do you drink while you fish, Mark? Tell the truth.
No, I don't.
You don't?
I'm in competition. I can't drink. So.
You and I share that passion. I love fishing. Me and Craig Steichen, my best friend from UMKC Dental School, we go down to Cabo and deep sea fishing, and there's just nothing cooler than sitting out there fishing. That is so damn cool. But let's get back to so here's the setup. You know, we've all been in this game for 3 decades, and what I've noticed is, so I got out in '87, and that I got out in May, and October was Black Monday, and so it was not pretty. We all saw the internet bubble crash March of 2000, not pretty. We saw Lehman's brother in, September 15, 2008, was it? And that was the ugliest thing I've seen. Average recessions about every 8 years. It's actually been 8 years since then. In the last 90 days, the Chinese stock market, the American stock market have both let out 20%, which is technically now it's in a bear market. And whenever the bear market happens, they're always gonna have existing patients that can't afford to come back in and get treatment, so they're always going to be running to you guys saying, you know what the cure to this depression is? And you know who did it the best, in my experience? When the stock market crashed in March of 2000, Michael Dell was the one who said, you know what? He says, this is when you don't double down on marketing, you triple down on marketing, you quadruple down. And he quadrupled his marketing budget. He was the only son of a gun of the big Intel, Cisco, Microsoft, Dell. He was the only one who didn't even blink. And remember that campaign? Dude, you need a Dell. Now, most of the people listening to this were probably, let's see, it's 2016, so they were probably only about, average listeners, probably only 10 years old when this happened, so they probably don't even remember. But so do you guys agree that the economy is slowing down?
No, it's absolutely slowing down. It's been slowing down since 08.
Since what?
Since 08.
Yeah. So what's hot and what's not on marketing? You're still just double down on Yellow Pages?
No. No. No, the whole dental marketing thing has changed. Well, I've been with you now for 14, 15 years. We were doing Yellow Pages 15 years ago for select people. Yeah. Right?
Certain markets. Yeah.
Then the internet, obviously, websites, SEO, now social media. It's all culminating to what we've just announced. Actually, the first people in the world learned about dental web content through Dentaltown, through your e-promotions, because that's the first place we let it out. We let the cat out of the bag. It's a product or a service called Dental Web Content. It is all of our content from 26 years. It's our library. It's our library of content that works. Our library of content that doesn't work is larger than the library of content that does work. Much larger. So basically what we wanted to do is, as you know, New Patients Incorporated is a full-service marketing firm for dentists, and you know there's a few hundred dentists in America who are going to go for something like that. And that part of our business is wonderful. It continues to grow. It continues to expand. It continues on its life path. But we need to communicate, or we need to take our content and let all dentists use it. We don't have to do the work. They've proven they can do the work. And that, actually, a lot of your podcast listeners are in that age bracket where they're embracing technology, embracing the internet, embracing social media, embracing doing their own marketing, and not having a company like New Patients Incorporated do it for them. So that's why we built Dental Web Content. All of our content, if you wanted to search, whatever, sleep apnea, and you needed every conceivable tested, effective advertising content for every conceivable media type, comes out in the search. So if you need internal promotion to your own patient base and in the form of an emailer, a mailer, a brochure that you can put up on your or in your treatment rooms or in your consult room, an animated web video to put on your website, maybe on your social media. It's endless. A radio ad, a TV script, a press release, everything that we've ever done in the history of our company at New Patients Incorporated that's tested positively in an outcome is all listed there. So if you wanted to, in our example, if you wanted to start promoting sleep apnea for your dental practice, you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to engage New Patients Inc.
Or anybody else.
You could if you wanted to. If you wanted us to do the work, all the work for you, we would do that. But if you don't want NPI to do all the work for you, at least use the appropriate content. And you know us from all these years of doing this. We don't promote dentistry based primarily on a price incentive. So none of our content, outside of maybe 1% of our content, is an ad with a deal in it. Almost all of our content has effectively generated new patient phone calls without using a deal. And that's a profound difference between what we do and what most solo practitioners want to do. There's a little war going on, if you haven't heard, between corporate dentistry and solo practitioners, right? So
and that's primarily a price war.
It's a price war.
And if you're going to go into that war as a solo GP looking for fee-for-service patients, you've lost that battle already.
Yeah. You don't have a marketing budget robust enough to compete with a corporate facility who opens up down the street and is going after the bottom half of the market right along with you. You don't. You'll lose. So the only other way to do it is to go after the top half of the market with content that is specifically been tested for them, something that resonates with them, something other than a price incentive. And it's endless in scope. It's endless in media type. And subscribers can just go on there whenever they want.
So how much is the subscription? What is the website? Tell the specifics.
The website's name is dentalwebcontent.com. If you went there today,
Say it again.
dentalwebcontent.com.
Why not New Patients Inc.?
Because we already have New Patients Inc.
This is a division.
This is a division of our company.
Okay, so it's a division of New Patients Inc.
That's correct.
Dental
Web Content. Content.com. Right. We are.
My memory was better before I went drinking with you.
Yeah.
I was going to order some memory pills, but I forgot.
We will be launching June 1st-ish.
Oh, it's not live yet?
No. We have our first dentist moving in about 9 days.
What does that mean, a dentist moving in?
We have a really nice, actually rather large group of dentists who are willing to go in and kick it around beta test it.
Who's that?
Who are the?
I mean, is it a one guy dentist or a group?
No. These are all individual solo practitioners from around the country that we've learned over most of them are New Patients Incorporated clients.
Dude, I've given you enough money.
I know.
Why not on that?
Well, yeah,
I've written you checks for $60,000 before. How do I not make the list?
You can be on the list.
You just picked a bunch of young, hot women.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Pretty much.
That was part of it.
The ones that like to know how to fish.
You're right.
I'd love to get in on that.
All right.
But anyway,
Yeah.
so it launches.
It launches June 1st, right? And it's the pricing. You asked me about pricing. There's 3 different subscription. It's a monthly subscription. $67, $87, or $147 a month.
Yeah, that is cheap.
Yeah.
Exactly.
67. Say the 3 prices.
67, 87, or 147 per month. And now the differences between the 3, is really the animated web video. We have animated web video for 85 dental subjects in 2 different voiceovers in 2 different themes. So there's 400 of them on there. They're on there right now, okay? And that's going to be the most popular thing, okay? And we customize the front and back for each practice, so it takes a little labor on our part, right? So the $67 option is give me 6 of those each year. Customize the front and back of an animated web video. I'll pick whatever subject I want for my practice, right? And do 6 of those in a year. That's the 67. The 87 is 12 of those, plus you get access to the entire rest of the media center. The $67, you don't get access to the other media center, okay? And then the $147 a month is I want 24 of those animated web videos. Those are for and access to the rest of the media center. The animated web
and they're going to put these on their website.
Website, social media. You can email them to your patients. You can use them almost anything.
What the animated web videos do, they're for the doctor to explain implants, sleep apnea, whatever, to patients. So they're in very patient-friendly language,
right,
which is what we've specialized in for so many years. Well, and they're fun and interesting and cute and
you can put them literally anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I have a social media site. I mean, Dental Town does, but Howard Friend does.
I know.
When Jen first comes, whatever you want me to push out on my social media about it, just email it to me, Howard at Dental Town, because
Sure.
You guys have done so much for me. But I want to back up a little bit. When I talk just local, I want to back a little bit. One of the things that you've been consistent on since I first heard you lecture, what was it, 14 years ago, 15 years ago, is that you really have always believed that this big country of ours with 330 million people is basically 2 markets that you think's half and half. Talk about that.
It's about half and half. It's 47-53. 47% of the women in the country will not choose a healthcare provider based primarily on a price incentive. Primarily. They just won't. So when you see, postcards with Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, $39 exam special, whatever, come in, or you see postcards with like 9 different kinds of offers, as if they understood any of them, right? 53% of the women in the country will accept that. 47% won't. And actually, you're branding away from they will actually begin to alienate from that brand because of the price promotion.
And this is where it's so silly when people are saying dentistry is going the way of Walgreens. People don't get it. No. Walgreens. When we were little, all the pharmacists owned their own store, and 80% of their cost or their overhead was buying the pills. And nobody cared who handed them a bottle of pills. So it made total sense to roll them all up to muscle down Merck and Pfizer and Eli and Johnson & Johnson, these big guys. That made sense. Dentistry's all hands-on surgery.
Yep.
I'm going to lean you back in the chair, and I'm going to touch you, and I'm going to work on your tooth. And half of America is going to pick that person, not their employer, not Delta, whatever. Right. And a lot of them have seen 6 different dentists before they found a home. Yeah. So what you're saying is half are going to buy on price, mm-hmm. half aren't going to buy on price. But so what do you say to the dentists? And here's what I don't understand dentistry. They don't blink signing up. So their crown's $1,300. They don't blink signing up for a PPO that discounts that to $800. Right. So they don't blink again. What's $1,300 to $500 to $800? What percent?
It's $500, but it's
what percent is that?
It's 30. It's 40%.
They don't blink at 40%. Yeah. But then you tell the son of a gun, well, why don't you spend 5% of revenue on marketing? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. That's talk about that.
I could the story of us.
You just summarized all of our frustration. It is incredibly now we're talking about New Patients Inc. The New Patients Inc. is filled with dentists who have learned a couple things through the years.
A lot of years.
Yeah, because we don't really work with a lot of young dentists. We work with mostly mature practices, 10, 15, 20 years in. And they've learned that they don't know how to promote dentistry to the consumer. They've learned that When they did try, they got a bunch of shoppers. They learned that shoppers erode the back end, and they just fall off of their recare, and they kiss a lot of frogs, and their opportunity costs go up.
Except for the Groupons.
Okay. Oh, those are great. Yeah. Okay. Right. Right. So you have to kind of be that mature. You kind of had to learn those lessons on your own. Like, you had to beat your face against the wall for those years to finally say, there has to be a better way. I heard about these NPI guys, right? And so when they engage us and we say, well, doc, you really need to spend about 5% of your gross on promoting your practice. Let us allocate the 5%. Whatever the 5% comes to. It could come to 30,000, it could come to 150,000. But let us take that resource that you're already spending unwisely and let us spend it more wisely. Let us handle all the design, all the production, all the deployment, all the call tracking, all the details, but let us handle all that stuff. And you'll grow more. You'll grow faster. What happens is when we get in a conversation with a dentist normally who's been promoting on their own, they've been promoting using price. And when you promote using price, your phone does ring. And normally it rings in more volume. And normally a dentist, they want immediate gratification. Here's $2,000, and they sit there and they watch their phone. And they wait for their phone to ring. And it rings. The problem is they don't understand the lost opportunity cost, the lower average revenue per patient, and the loss on the back end of the recare cycle, because that patient that came in off that deal, the next time they need a dentist, they're just looking for the next deal. They're not, there's a really good chance they're not going to come back to you. They're going to come back to somebody else. So anyway, the 5%, if you manage that properly and you promote dentistry to the right people and you promote dentistry the right way, you can see less human beings and generate a much greater profitability. And we've proven that for 26 years with hundreds of customers.
I just want to say one thing. This is why I'm passionate about doing free podcasts that you're listening to free, is because when you're a grandpa, you don't want the next generation of your homies to learn everything the hard way. And what did you hear him just say? His customers don't come until 15 years, because when you're 25, see, you're smart enough to rule the whole world. You're smarter than everyone. You're the smartest person ever lived. And it's going to take you till about you're 40 to realize you ain't. And don't learn everything the hard way. It's the same thing with consultants. When you talk to any consultant, you say, well, the average practice collects 675 and they take on 175. They go, no, that's not true. I'd say our average practice collects 1 million to 1.5 million. I'm like, no, those are just the smartest ones using consultants. Yeah. The people that are all doing 1 to 4 million are always getting a consultant in their office for 50 grand every 2, 3, 4 years. They get another one. They're always going up. Yeah. And then you look at the poor bastard that can't break 600, and he's too smart to get a consultant because they don't know anything anyway.
Right. He's already figured it out.
Yeah. So it takes them 15 years to realize maybe I don't know how to run a dental office. And when I call it the doctor syndrome. When you graduate, most people hear, congratulations, you're a doctor of everything. Yeah. You know everything. And what they should say is, congratulations, you're a doctor of dentistry. You don't know shit about anything else.
You might know how to not kill somebody, but that's about it.
So I want to ask you about marketing. There's also a lot of technology companies about tracking incoming calls, tracking. Yeah. Do you like any of those things for tracking marketing?
Well, it's essential. We've been, I don't know, we're probably 8-10 years into, we hook tracking numbers into almost every deployment that we do for a client that consumes more than 10% of their annual budget. We want to know. And you know what? Yes. They need to know. Yeah. If they're going to trust us with their marketing budget, see, it's one thing if they're controlling it and it doesn't work. It's okay. They get a pass. But if they're trusting us and it doesn't work, we don't get a pass, okay? So we want tracking numbers on everything that we put out there so we can say, look, doc, there's 174 phone calls. Average phone calls, 3.5 minutes.
How do you track phone calls to, so
So
I call your office.
Right. It's a
I
unique.
use your- how do you
Well, you called my office because of some kind of advertising. So what? Let's say it's a web page. Okay. Well, on that web page is a unique telephone number. You dialed that phone number. It wrote over my normal office line, or your whatever normal office line. The office manager or the front desk business administrator picks it up. Hi, how you doing? Conversation ensues. Conversation is recorded. Conversation is time-stamped, date-stamped, caller ID, house value. Sometimes we can even get their name. Okay, it's all dropped down into a database. So at any time later on, you can just go look. What did I get from my ex?
But are you saying this that you'll do this if I call www.newpatientsinc.com and you do it? But what if I go to your dentalwebcontent.com and I'm doing it myself? How do I track that myself?
You don't need to call New Patients Inc. or Dental Web Content to get call tracking numbers. We use CallSource. A dentist can call callsource.com. You can get tracking numbers from anywhere. You can get tracking numbers from Google.
Okay,
You don't need that.
Where to get it?
We use callsource.com. We like it because the reporting is robust. We like it because we can aggregate. We aggregate like hundreds of clients, 14 million impressions a month, right? That we put out there on the part of our clients on their behalf. That we know the volume of calls, the average call time. We know everything because of CallSource. Callsource.com, right?
Yeah. There are other ones out there.
There's other ones. There's sumo people were here.
Yeah.
There was a new exhibitor. I didn't honestly take that deep of a look at it, but okay.
That was SUMO.
Yeah, SUMO, I think. I looked at it. I talked to the guy. They're sharp guys.
What was the name of the company?
It's Sumo.
Sumo call tracking?
Yeah.
Was that what it was? It was the guys walking around in sumo suits, right?
I thought that was me. I thought it was
Yeah, no, wasn't you.
Now, see, but are there any other companies in dentistry that do it?
There are lots of them out there, and pick one that you're comfortable with.
They might not have heard of it.
Call Tracker ROI is a company that now this is not just call tracking though. This is a call tracking, call answering. They do they do training of the staff, right? So it's a whole.
We do that as well.
Yeah, Call Tracker ROI, right?
Chris Phelps is his name.
Yeah, Dr. Chris Phelps is.
Another question always coming up. Urban versus rural. Anything they should know about? I mean, because sometimes they're listening to us in Fort Scott, Kansas, say, isn't this really something you talk about in New York and LA?
No. It does. Well, how quickly? Well, the bottom line is, we used to get that question: do I have to market? And I think over the years, it's grown into, it depends, all the way to. Yes, I don't care if you're in Kansas. If you have an aggressive growth strategy, if you want to reach out to your local community and claim the top half of the market as yours and not allow it to go to anybody else, then you should market. I don't know how you don't, unless you've just maxed your capacity with your good looks.
That's right.
Yeah, I know. Right.
Set up in a blind community. I just tell them it's all good.
Yeah. Yeah,
but the urban problem is, of course, the competition. The dentist population ratio is horrible. In just about every urban area you want to go to.
Yeah.
So that makes marketing a must if you want to have a business.
What do you tell these kids that are coming out of school and they're thinking about where they're going? How would they know? I mean, every business is supposed to go where they ain't.
Right.
They always go to the medical dental building. It already has 50 dentists in downtown LA where nobody's.
Or they go to Miami or LA.
Tell my homies how to find.
All right, here's it's easier for me to tell you what not to do. If it is because I've heard all the stories. Do not, if you have the ability not to do that, do not pick where you want to live. Pick where you want to practice first. Contact a gentleman named Scott McDonald at drdemographics.com. Tell him the state you want to live in. Pick a state. Ask him to deliver to you the top 5 dental markets in that state, and then go look for nice places to live.
What's his name?
Scott McDonald.
Scott, MCDONALD.
Yep, at
He's,
DrDemographics.com.
Dr. Demographics.
It costs you a couple $100 for a report, but that's a hell of a lot cheaper than the $300,000 in debt you are now with your school loans and the $300,000 that somebody's going to loan you to start a practice that fails.
Most dentists like
DrDemographics.com.
Yes,
most dentists want to they pick a place to live first.
I don't know.
Doctor.
Demographics.com.
If you pick a
He's in
nice
San
place to
Francisco.
live and you don't realize that it's a hostile business environment, you're going to regret it. Go work in suburban Indiana or rural Midwest somewhere for the first 5-6 years of your life, and then make a whole bunch of money, and then
Yeah, then
move
go
to
pick where you want to live. If there's any pedodontists that are watching this podcast, you can move to Southeast Indiana. It's a 1 to 45,000. They're trying to fly dentists in just to handle all the kids that are there. You probably don't need to market anything. You just probably put a building and a little sign up and says dentist for kids, and you should be fine. So there's all kinds of opportunity in America. Dentists are flocked to money like bugs to a bug zapper. That's the problem. Dentists flock to the perception of money, the visible perception of money.
Rich neighborhoods.
Rich neighborhoods, like bugs to a bug zapper.
So since I've been in Phoenix, Arizona since '87, almost 30 years, probably about 80 to 100 dentists have gone bankrupt.
Yeah.
Almost every one of them was in North Scottsdale.
Yeah, of course.
It was never
Right.
Glendale,
No.
Gloria,
Well,
Chandler, because there's
20
no
years
money
ago.
there.
No.
20 years ago, all the guys came out from Long Island thinking that you do full mouth rehabs on millionaires all day.
And they
in
moved
Scottsdale.
in Scottsdale.
Yeah.
Right. That's
and
why
so
they
did everybody else.
Right.
And at first, the guys who got there first did that, but everybody else who
So tell me
followed.
more about this Scott McDonald guy.
He does wide area. Now we do small area analysis reports. He does wide area analysis reports on the viability of dental business in a given region.
And how long have you known this guy?
Many
27 years.
Who's the other one?
I don't know another one.
There's another on the Townie Perks. There's
I'd be happy to know another one, but I don't know.
yeah.
another one.
There's the one on the Townie Perks has another one.
Don't know.
Don't know.
Will you look on the Townie Perks and
Yeah,
Yeah.
these are people we refer to. They're not our businesses
Yeah,
or
right,
anything.
right,
We just
right,
refer to them.
yeah, there's but how important is demographics for these kids?
It's everything.
It's everything.
It's location, location, location.
Right,
That's everything in real estate. It's everything in locating your practice.
How important was it for you to put your today's dental in the?
Can I don't want to interrupt your story to go to my story, but the bottom line is, I was in Kansas, Wichita, Kansas. The population was 285,000 every year for decades. All my dentists that I that were my friends. These are before computers. They all had a little chart, and they had their income in their year. And they'd say every year, Kansas City graduates all these dentists, and another 30 come to Wichita every single year. And every year, I make less money than the year before. And they showed me 30 years of data. And I'm looking at this line going down, and they just they should close down that dental school. We don't need them dumping out 30 more. So I did the demographic. Arizona didn't have any dental schools. Either did Nevada, either did Utah. And so I took a 6-foot by 4-foot map. I traced the 303 census tracts. I got the 70, 80, 85 mini census. It was just index cards back then. And I put a pin where every dentist was. And for every one of those deals, I put the dentist to population ratio. The lowest one was my zip code 8504, one dentist to 6,000.
Yeah, that's terrific.
And
you should shred a market.
and downtown Phoenix, downtown Scottsdale, downtown Tempe. It was like 1 to 900.
Yeah.
And I went to 6200 South McClintock, and there were a dental building there. There were like 25 guys in one building.
Yeah.
And then I'll never forget. And you know who you know who the only kids who ever listened to me on that message were? The Mormons.
Yeah.
Because they come out of school, and I was just $300,000 student loan. They're already married, got 2 kids walking and talking, and one in the oven. Yeah. And one of these kids was telling me a long time ago, he's saying, yeah, I need to go to North Scottsdale because I need to make bank. I got a lot of student loans. I got a stay-home wife. I need to make bank. And I said, dude, no. 30 minutes south of Phoenix, there's a town of Florence that wouldn't get their first dentist till they had 12,000 people. And then there's another area called, what's that? By Florence. No, not Apache. No, Apache Junction's way out east. I'm talking south. South by Eloy. No, that's way south. Anyway, God, it's Florence. I ride my bike there. But anyway, I said, no, go there.
Yeah.
So he said, are you sure? That's a kind of a rural, poor.
Yeah, there's nothing to do there.
There's like a Dairy Queen and a
money.
7-Eleven and a Circle K. I'm like, dude, go Maricopa. Maricopa is what it's called. I said, go to Maricopa. He went to Maricopa, got 150 new patients a month for his first decade.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the other people go to North Scottsdale. And the other thing these kids don't realize that on an acre of millionaire homes, like where I live, there's like only one house per acre. You go in the lower class areas, an acre of apartments might have 500 people living on an acre. I mean, I don't know about 500, but a shitload of people.
A lot more.
Yeah. So you're saying so demographics. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, demographics are everything. It's the reason why you don't see two Walmarts right next to each other. Why doesn't Walmart put two Walmarts right next to each other? Because they know exactly how many buyers there are in the market. When you see a Walmart that's maybe 6 miles from another market, from another Walmart, they did the math. They know that between those two stores, they're not going to cannibalize themselves. They know between those two stores, there's just enough people to support two Walmarts. So if demographics weren't important, smart business people, right? Smart business people, would be paying attention to them, and smart business people do pay attention to demographics. Really, literally, there's a boatload of opportunity in America right now for any startup dentist. They just have to be willing to live somewhere that they didn't have preconceived notions of living when they were 6 years old.
Okay, so how come they don't blink at joining the Navy for 85 grand and go and sit in an aircraft carrier for 6 months when your wife's at home? So they'll sign up for not getting laid for half a year for 85 grand, sitting in the middle of nowhere, and they're like, okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Then I'll say, we'll go to 11% of the towns in Kansas don't have a dentist. Go there. No, I don't want to do that. It's either the 38th parallel, with North Korea, or I'm going to downtown Santa Barbara. There's just
Santa Barbara.
So what would you tell that
kid?
kid?
For every 323 people. Good luck with
If somebody said that to me, I'd say you're part of the big group. Honestly, it's a shame. They're part of the most popular group. Most popular group are walking down the plank, and they're making the conscious decision to walk off the plank. And we try to stop them. When they engage us, we send them right to Scott. And we say, don't do anything until you get a hold of Scott. Yeah.
I'll tell you another story. So, you come out of school and you're like, from San Diego to Monterey, 1 mile into the ocean, what would you say the doctor to patient ratio is?
It's awful.
What would you say from San Diego, if I could look at my dental office, see the ocean, from San Diego to San Fran, what do you think the demo is?
1 to 600.
Yeah, 1 to 600.
Yeah.
And they're like, I just think that would be so cool.
Worse.
I'm like, dude, if you went to Bakersfield and work Monday through Thursday, 4 10-hour days, you'd make so much money. You could have a private helicopter fly you to Monterey.
Exactly.
And Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you could live like a rock star.
Yeah.
And then go back to the armpit of America. It's like when I got to school in 87, I did the demographics of California, and back then we had to do it all by hand. It took days.
With the abacus and all that.
And the first mile of that ocean in LA was about 1 to 600, 1 to 500. And by the time you got 1 hour into, I think it was Redland or I forgot what the name of it. It was 1 hour in. It was 1 to 6,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the guys that were going there were just crushing it.
Killing it. Yep.
But everybody who built a Taj Mahal overlooking the ocean was basically selling Amway in the evenings, trying to pay their bills.
Exactly.
So you're saying demographics. So you're saying demographics is just king.
Yeah. When you're starting, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, in supply and demand, you're supposed to go
That's
for the
it.
supply where there's people there demanding it. So
Yeah.
if no one's standing there wanting your stuff, it's kind of a bad idea.
Yeah.
A real bad idea. But here's just let's follow through the business logic for a second. If dentists are drawn to money like bug zappers, which we know they are, if they do that over a continued period of time, and there's this other business called dental insurance that exists out there that dangles patients in front of the dentist, right, for 70 cents on the dollar, let's say. Okay?
Well, first of all, I don't want to say that.
Why?
Because they're what I see is if the crown's $1,300 and they're going to give you $800, that's 40%.
Okay, all right, 60 cents on the dollar, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
We'll go 65 cents.
all right, so now we've okay, all right. So now we've accumulated all these dentists in this tight little geographic region, serving a tight little population, and they do that for 5 or 6 years, and pretty soon people don't have enough patients to go around, right? So they start to get panicked. And what's the one thing well, there's many things you weren't taught in dental school, but what's one of the biggest things you were never taught in dental school is how to market yourself, how to promote yourself.
I would disagree with that.
No?
I think the number one thing that I missed out on marketing is that if I would have married one of them women in the dental school class, she would have made $10,000 a month. But the chick I married blew $10,000 a month, and I wish the first day of school the dean would have walked out there and said, "The main thing you need to know is marry one of the girls in your class." Then I'd say business was the second thing they did.
Okay. All right. You got me there.
Every girl in my class that would have been
It's kicking ass, right?
All millionaires.
Right.
I'm looking at like, why didn't I marry her? God.
All right, so where the hell was I now?
Insurance.
Anyway. Okay, so they didn't teach you marketing. So now they get more and more scattered. They get more and more desperate, right? So in comes the insurance that says, "Well, I'll put you on a list. I'll put you on my website. You give me 40 cents of every dollar." And the dentists are that desperate where they say, "Okay, I have to." How many dentists have told you over the years, "I have to do it. I have no choice. Everybody else in my town is doing it." So pretty soon, the pervasive insurance comes into your market. Now what's coming around? Now corporate dentistry is coming around. Okay, now corporate dentistry comes around and says, "We'll take all the insurance. We'll create a footprint that we can control better than you can. We have cost structures that are lower than yours, and we have advertising budgets that are much higher than yours. And we're going to come in and drop ourselves right in the middle of that exact same market." Because what I said before, the 53-47, they knew it a long time ago. Corporate dentistry promotes to the bottom half of the dental market. The half of the dental market that is largely ignored outside of the 14 million impressions we generate each month is the top half. Corporate dentistry is never going to go after the top half. That's where all of the solo practitioners and the private practice owners should go. Ignore the bottom half. Totally ignore it. We ignore it. We don't put $1 of our clients' marketing budgets into the bottom half of the market. Not $1. And so anyway, so that's how that all happens. You have an oversaturation in dentists. The demand goes down. Insurance comes in. Corporations come in. This is not the only business this has happened to. This has happened to lots of businesses, not just dentistry, right? If you think about it.
So I want you to go into the difference. Do you guys do any internal marketing, or is it all external marketing?
It's both.
Both.
Explain the difference. You're talking to kids who don't even know the difference in internal and external marketing.
All right, well, if you don't have a practice, you're not going to know what internal promotion is until you have patient base. Internal promotion is any communication you have with your patient base to largely explain to them the benefits of the dentistry you provide. Dental patients are famous for only remembering what you have physically done only to them. That's the only thing they remember. Like if a patient came to your office, Howard, and all you did to that patient was a couple of fillings, that's really all they take away. They don't know that you offer same-day dentistry. They have no clue. They don't know that you do that. So internal promotion is the process by which you explain to your existing patients the breadth and the scope of everything that you do, not necessarily for them. but for their husband or their kids or their mom or their dad or their neighbor or the person they work with or the office man, whatever.
Internal marketing cures the problem of, your patient that you've had for years and comes in with a nice set of veneers.
Right.
And you're going, why didn't you have me do it, dude?
Right.
Well, I didn't know you did that, doctor.
Right.
Internal marketing will fix that problem.
I had a patient last month that came to me, a new patient, and he wanted to do implants. And I said, yeah, I'm talking to him. I said, why'd you come here? And he goes, I see on your website, you do implants. And he was a patient at Tom Manor. I'm like, dude, Tom teaches me implants. When I have an implant question, I call Tom. Why did you drive 4 miles up here? You need to get back in your car. I said, if I had to pick Tom Manor doing an implant on me or me doing an implant on me, I'd drive right back to your damn office. So that's what you're talking about.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. I think dentists get stuck in there, and you guys are in a confined 1 foot by 1 foot box 90% of your 8-hour day doing patient care. The whole rest of the world just revolves around, and you think that the rest of the world is paying attention to everything that you do, and it's not. Okay, dental consumers only really remember what you've specifically done to them, and they need to be reminded constantly. Not overtly, not
too much,
but once a quarter, they need to be reminded, or at least initially discussed, that you do X. And make the communication only about X. Okay, don't make it X, Y, Z, A, B, C.
But are you talking about that you're just coaching them to talk to the patients, or do you do stuff to communicate to them?
No. It's collateral material.
Either online or...
Okay, well, let me back up. Would I love it if every one of our clients never needed internal promotion? We'd be the happiest people on earth. Okay, because then our average revenue per patient would go to $6,000 a year, right? Because the dentist would open their mouth and say, "Oh, by the way," or the dentist would open their mouth and say, "Would you like to take care of that today?" Okay, which most dentists don't do. They just focus on what their job, whatever's in the schedule for that 45 minutes is all they focus on. They don't focus on anything else. So, yeah, collateral material, whether it's in the form of an email or a physical piece that you can touch and take home with you, or a physical piece that you need to take home and show your husband or someone else who's going to be involved in the decision.
You would have printed flyers they can hand out to the patients. You would have emails they
can or a PDF of that flyer that you can email. Right. That's right. All that stuff.
And what about direct mails? Direct mail to your patient base?
Direct mail to the patient base. Normally to the patient base, it would be a single topic communication piece, maybe quarterly, maybe 3 times a year. You don't want to do...
What medium? Flyer, email?
Well, now that email has become so popular, I guess it depends. If the dental office has even 50% of their database with email addresses, I'd say just stick with email. It's cheaper. It's not our job to consume marketing budget resources. It's our job to save them. Okay. So if you can send something via email versus put it in the mail, then do it. Right. The problem is that most dental offices don't have half of their email addresses in their database. So it's,
What should they have? What percent?
100%.
They should have 100%.
That would be good.
And for the whole United States of America, what would the average dental office have?
It's less than 40%.
Less than 40%?
Right, because they don't ask. They don't.
What would be an A, B, C, D, F on percent of your patients' emails? An A, B?
I don't understand. You mean age-wise?
No.
Oh.
If you had 40% of your patients' emails, would that be a C? That'd be average?
That's average.
So then what percent would you have to get a B? What percent would you have to get an A?
I'd love a B, 60, A, 80. I'd love to,
do 80% of Americans even have an email address?
I would think so. Wouldn't you? Yeah, I think so.
The worst thing I ever did in my life, I look at all the mistakes I ever made, was getting my mother a computer and getting her an email. Because every one of her emails starts with forward, and then it's, oh God. But she only emails me about every hour. So it's not that bad. It's just an hourly thing that happens.
I've learned so much from my mistakes. That I'm thinking about making a lot more.
Yeah. No, it's internal promotion is actually the cheapest, the least expensive, highest ROI promotion
Yeah,
too.
they already know you. They trust you. They've given you money. You know where they live.
Okay, let's talk about
That's good.
external
External is
promotion.
for strangers.
Yeah, okay, strangers. So these people
They don't know you from Adam.
They don't know you from Adam. So just go through the genres. The ones I know they're talking about is should I do a yellow page? Should I take an ad out in the newspaper? Should I print a flyer, direct mail it? Should I be posting on Facebook every day? And if I do Facebook, God, I can't do them all. I mean, there's Facebook, there's Twitter, there's Instagram, there's Pinterest, there's LinkedIn, there might be 100 of them.
Right.
I can't sit there all day long posting them. And then there's Google AdWords.
Yeah.
Right.
And then there's my own website. Then there's blogs. I mean, where the hell does it stop?
There's a zillion mediums.
So go down from the best return on investment of time and money and resources to the least.
There you go.
Start the funnel.
Time, money, and resources. The first three things you start with are internal promotion to your existing patients if you have an existing patient base. That's always the least cost, highest ROI. It always will be. That's never going to change. That'll be the same 50 years from now. That's just not going to change. And then the two that are almost tied with each other, believe it or not, are properly done direct mail and the internet, the website. They're almost tied. They're 96% effective.
Okay, but the internet, that's abroad. You're talking about my website.
Your website.
Okay.
Your website,
So
right.
You're saying the two things are what? That are almost tied?
Well, we do, right. We do.
Properly done direct mail and my own office.
And your own office website, right. Okay, now, I know the website part brings up a whole other gigantic conversation. Here's a mistake that people are making right now. Dentists are making an enormous mistake thinking that they can get 100% of their new patients just off the internet. And I don't know a dentist that gets 100% of their patients just off the internet. And let me give you a little analogy here. Are you familiar with the website overstock.com?
Yes.
You are. You've heard of it. Yeah. Where'd you hear about it?
I don't know.
You heard about it on TV.
Oh, okay.
That's offline media.
Yeah.
Think back to before you even knew what Amazon was. Where'd you hear about Amazon?
Reading Forbes.
Okay. All right. That's offline media, right?
Google.
How about Google?
I get direct mail from Google all the time. Mail.
Remember the Yahoo commercials? Yahoo! Remember? Okay. Here's what dentists are doing. Here's a big mistake dentists are making right now. It's huge. It's the giant yellow page sucking sound that we heard in the late 90s into the 2000s.
And where did the giant sucking sound come from? The H. Ross Bro campaign.
Right.
Jobs with NAFTA.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so the giant sucking sound now is I'm going to put 100% of my marketing budget into the internet until I have finally figured out that that's not a good idea. But if you think about it, every online brand, I just gave you three, every online brand that you've ever recognized was initially brought familiar to you through offline media, not online. Okay? A website is a very passive being. A website just sits there. If you do SEO, the best that you can do is still have your website sit there and hope somebody near you plugs in a phrase or a word that happens to be on your website that happens to show up on the first page of a Google search. That's SEO, right? But your website still sits there. It's not going out and doing anything. It's just sitting there. You're still responsible for driving traffic to it, right? So then dentists get smart and they say, well, I'm going to go do Google AdWords and I'm going to put $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 a month into Google AdWords. But again, your website is just sitting there. It's not. It's just sitting there. You're still paying to drive traffic to your website. But here's the problem. In many competitive markets, Google AdWords are way, way overpriced. Google AdWord in Phoenix for implants has to be $65, $70.
You know what the highest AdWord is?
A click? No, I don't. Is
the
it?
highest AdWord is malpractice is a personal injury attorney added Manhattan.
Gotta be, right.
And it's $1,000.
Gotta be, right. Right.
That makes sense.
Right.
Google Manhattan,
Click. Right. Exactly.
Sock it to the attorneys.
Exactly. Okay. So
Remarket them.
So anyway, I don't want to just dominate the conversation by mistakes. What you want to do is watch what the other big successful companies have done over the years, which is successful offline promotion driving website traffic. Okay? In our industry, in dentistry, it's mail. Because mail is the only medium you can possibly target properly. You can't target a Google ad. You can't target a Google pay-per-click. You can't target any of that stuff. I could be from Chicago and click on your sponsored ad. I'm never coming to your dental practice. I could have a credit score of 450 and click on your ad. I'm never buying squat from you. Okay? I can't sign up for... I can't... I can't...
Shut up. You weren't supposed to say that.
I can't sign up for Care Credit. I can never afford any of the services you provide. I'm not qualified to even click on it, and I'm still clicking on it, and you're getting charged $65. So there's an enormous amount of advertising waste that dentists are just flushing down the toilet right now. When I can reach out into your community and I can find all the moms, maybe with children, because you have a lot of kids in your practice, who are within 3.5 miles of your practice, who have a credit score, let's say, above 650, who have a median household income of, let's say, $65,000 and up. And I can just pound the piss out of that market and not make one mistake. Not $1 is wasted. But dentists have no problem taking $8,000 a month and throwing it against the wall and then just waiting to see what falls down. Okay? That makes no sense to me. But through the recession, through the last 8 years, we keep growing. So that tells us,
Yeah, but you keep growing because it's the guys that have been out there 15 years doing the smart ones.
Right.
Cater to the smart guys
Right.
that are on the block.
Right.
Your whole career.
They already made
That's
that.
what I'm trying to do.
Right.
I'm trying to get lessons learned. I just had Kink in here. I'm trying to get lessons learned for a bunch of grandpas.
Right.
To get it to the kids so they don't have to, because it's a competitive environment.
Very.
Right.
I think we had a lot more room for making initial bad decisions in '87.
Right.
We did.
They do.
Oh,
Exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
They come out and make some big screw up decisions and kind of counteract or whatever. These kids need to come out and the first 3, 4, 5 moves they make better be the best 5 moves they ever made.
Yeah.
I agree.
Marry that hot chick in your
Yeah,
class.
that's the first one.
And then take her where they ain't. And take her where they ain't.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's exactly right.
So I want to ask you another thing. Here's a thing the young kids are asking all the time is, I got to school. I feel really good with cleaning exams and fillings and, single endo. Now I'm going to spend a big chunk of change. I'm going to go learn a new procedure. There's Invisalign, there's sleep medicine, there's cosmetic dentistry, there's placing implant. I mean, there's just, God dang, there's a tree. They're the tree trunk, and there's all these branches. What branches are the consumers searching for? What trade, what other tool in my toolbox could I learn that'd be more likely for someone to come in and say, hey, I'll buy that? Would it be sleep medicine? Would it be Invisalign? Would it be placing implants? Would it be learning veneers? Can you talk about that, the other end?
Just in general, we love it when a client of ours adds a service or a treatment.
But prioritize.
I understand what you're asking, yeah.
She's got a budget.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm only going to spend like $3,000 a year.
Yeah.
So I can't learn everything.
No.
Right.
So could you start the funnel about what you'd learn first, what you'd learn second?
Young dentist.
Yeah.
Young dentist just starting out.
Yeah.
500 patient records, just looking for the next thing. I'd probably do Invisalign.
Yeah.
That's going to be attractive to a wider market segment than sleep apnea or implants. But man, the sleep apnea, the sleep apnea business is brand new. So if you're in a market with a whole bunch of over 45s, I don't know. I mean, that'd probably be close second. And it has its. You have to learn how to deal with Medicare. You have to learn how to deal with medical insurance. I get it all. I understand it.
It's medical insurance, not dental.
But dentists are saving lives now. Okay, this is real stuff, right? So if they have a passion for doing that, I would send them in that direction, because I know too many dentists.
Passion, just money.
Okay, just money. Okay, Invisalign, implants, sleep.
Okay. Invisalign, implants,
Sleep.
So that's what they're searching for.
Right.
Invisalign or equivalent. There's all kinds
what
of
you're talking about. It's a huge mistake I see. You always go learn how to do $5,000 veneers, but veneers is kind of aggressive. I mean, that's shaving down enamel and doing this. Yeah. Ortho is just real conservative, and this is a conservative country. It really is.
Yep.
I mean, America's a conservative country, and I agree with you. I think Invisalign is far more huge than learning how to do ortho. And far more are huge than learning how to do. I mean, not ortho, but veneers.
Veneers. Yeah.
So I agree. And so why do you think implants is number second? What do you think's got the concern? I mean, obviously Invisalign is I want straighter, whiter, brighter, sexier teeth. I've always thought more people came in for a cleaning because they wanted whiter, brighter, sexier teeth and fresh breath, not because they were worried about P. gingivalis and losing their teeth 40 years from now. They want to look hot on their date Friday. Right. Why has implants captured America's imagination?
Well, we are one of the most edentulous countries in the world by population, so we have a lot of missing teeth. We just went through an 7-year recession. People, if you know what the the revenues going into dentistry did. If you saw the 18% slide, if you're not sliding 18%, you're ahead, right? So what happens when people ignore their teeth? They fall out. What happens when they fall out? They need to get them replaced. You're either going to replace them with a bridge, you're going to replace them with an implant. Implants are huge because they not only fill the niche of filling the gap between two existing natural teeth, but they also impact dentures. There's lots of denture wearers out there, or future denture wearers. And it'd be really nice to have a denture that doesn't slip, and implants can provide that. So the implants actually, the implant market would touch almost half of the 50-plus-year-olds that you could promote to, in some way or fashion. Somebody needs something like that somewhere. About half. That's a pretty large market segment.
And what I love about, say you have a PPO price, say you're in a big city, you're a competitive market, you got a lot of PPO insurance setting your fees. Well, they don't set your fees on Invisalign, on ortho, on implants. So they might tell you, here's your price on a clean exam and x-ray. But when you start adding a service where someone's not setting the price, now you can set a price that's 50% profit margin. So, I mean, when they tell you, when your crown's $1,300 and you sign up for a PPO and you drop it to $800, that $500 you dropped, were them cost dollars or profit dollars?
No, they're just pure profit.
That's just pure profit. So you might only be making $100 on that crown. So when you set your fee on Invisalign or an implant or whatever, you can have a 50% profit margin on that.
Same is true in sleep. Yeah. So all of those, and there's more. Those aren't the only three.
Keep talking.
Well, I mean, those three pieces make, or the Invisalign, the sleep, and the implants are good examples of what we call niche marketing. Okay, now you never want to just promote one of them forever, because you'll niche yourself into being only the implant dentist, and people will think you don't do anything else, right? But as a part of an overall marketing strategy where you're promoting your practice as in general, and you're promoting, let's say, Invisalign to the general public, or you're promoting sleep apnea to the general public, you can do both at once. And normally, besides the web, normally the right way to do that is mail. And again, the reason it's the right way is because you can target it. You can't target any other media. Okay, so if you want to put a radio ad out there, that's fine, but 80% of the geography is waste. They're never coming to you. Okay.
When you say radio, you mean a CB?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Actually, radio works in in several.
radio still alive?
Yeah, radio's still a thing. Yeah.
Oh, I want to ask you another.
So is TV, by the way.
I don't want to get in trouble. Maybe it's unprofessional when I ask you, but some people are going out to California and giving a man like 10 grand to do like an hour video program.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Is that a return on investment?
I don't know. You'd have to talk to them. One of the things that we have a production facility here in Las Vegas, so we fly our customers in. We do video production here, but we do it specifically for the internet. We don't do it just to say I have a video. We certainly wouldn't do it for an hour. Okay, ours are about minute and a half, 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
Separated by individual topic, whether it be a service, a technology, a convenience, what have you. So we organize about 10 of those, fly them in, and see, here's the problem. And please, audience, take this the right way. We found that about half the dentists are good subjects on camera, and about half aren't.
Well, I'd be the half today.
And they just, no, you're not. But
No, you'd be a star.
well, the little profanity side, okay. We don't.
Did he just say that?
Yeah, we don't let
Get
that.
the kids out of here. Get the kids out of here.
So, but that's why we built the animated video for the dentists who shouldn't be in front of a camera. Okay, it still gets the same message across.
My mother told me that I had a face for radio.
Right.
So should I that's why I'm doing a podcast.
Right. So, no, I don't know. You can ask them. I don't know, or ask his customers. I don't know.
So you got two websites. One of them is going to be
Well, our company website is newpatientsinc.com.
so dentalwebcontent.com. That comes out June 1st.
Yeah, here's the way you look at it. You look at newpatientsinc.com as a general contractor. We build anything.
So if I'm
Okay.
listening to you right now, okay,
Right.
so I'm listening to you right now, and I'm saying, you know what really, I've already paid my rent, mortgage, criminal bill, computer insurance, everything.
Right.
You know what would just be the cat's meow, the bee's knees, if I could get like 20 more new patients a month.
Right.
Yeah.
So if they went to newpatientsinc.com
Right.
and talked to the original Howie, I'm actually the other Howie.
Yeah.
Would they talk to the original Howie?
They,
Would talk to Mark
they
Kelly?
talk to Lee. They talk to Lee.
But Lee
Yeah.
don't talk. He said it.
He's a good listener. He's a good listener.
So Lee, would you recommend they go to your website? Would they recommend call you? Take the mic. So specifically answer this. I'm listening to you right now. I'm in Oklahoma. I want 20 more patients a month. What do I do?
So you'd go to our website at newpatientsinc.com. At the very top of the screen, it says take the marketing survey. You fill out that information. It gives us about half of the information that we need about your practice. We build an initial marketing plan. We pull a bunch of demographics, that population to dentist ratio that you guys were talking about earlier. And then we send that information out to them. We schedule a call and we start talking. We go over the information, starting that process of this is what we recommend. It's your marketing treatment plan. And so we present our findings, our x-rays to you and say this is where we would start.
Yeah. Let me interject something here.
Well, and this is dentistry uncensored. What kind of fee am I looking at? What kind of cost am I looking at?
There's no fee for that.
There's no fee for that?
No. It's like
So I can call you up, take the survey, and
Yeah.
you're going to give me a treatment plan for no fee?
yeah.
correct.
It takes about.
It's a free exam, but you just said don't do free exams. You said that was the lower half. We don't do them.
No, we can do them all day. You can't. Right.
You just know my podcast listeners are the lower half.
Right.
You're saying free exams.
No, this is
the other half. They're on YouTube.
right.
It's the lower half of my iTunes podcast.
No, this is the way we've always done business. We don't charge a fee until we start to work. We start to do work. Here's
So I go to newpatientsinc.com.
right.
And then I find a button that says take a survey.
Yeah, well, it's just rotating at the top. It's kind of like jumping off the page at you.
What's it say?
Click here to take the survey to get your marketing
And
plan.
how long is it going to take me to take that
It's
survey?
55, 60 questions. Probably take you 15, 20 minutes to fill it out, to be honest with you.
Okay, so you're going to have your assistant do it.
Maybe. Right.
So Jan's got to do it.
Right, Jan's got it, right.
Jan's got to do it, or the office manager. And then how long is it going to take?
3 to 4 days,
3 to 4
you'll
days.
get an email that comes in with the marketing plan. It's usually about 8, 9, anywhere from 8 to 11 pages long. And it separates out your market, your demographics, your doctor-patient ratio, where all your targets are, where all your targets aren't. And that's usually a surprise to most dentists. And the plan. In other words, here's what we would budget if we were you. Here's how we would allocate the budget if we were you. And here's the projects we would put forth within that budget allocation. Here's exactly how many we put on the street, when, how, whatever. Okay, so it's very detailed. And here's how much it costs. I mean, the costs are all in there too. But the costs are part of the bigger budget. So ultimately, at the end of the day, the elephant in the room is the budget. And dentists think we control the budget. We don't control the budget. I wish we controlled the budget.
But you think it should be 5%?
5% of revenue.
So did you just pull that number out of a hat?
No.
What if someone said, well, what is the Fortune 500? What percent did they do?
I don't.
Where did you get 5%?
Business analytics, 27.
I saw that number somewhere.
Yeah, business analytics, 27 years of me doing it. Yeah.
Well, I can vouch for this. I've seen enough P&Ls from dental offices to fill this room. It seems like as marketing goes from 0 to 6%, that perfectly tracks with take-home income from $150,000 a year to $600,000. It just seems like everybody making $400,000 a year is more likely to be doing 5%, and everybody making $600,000 or $700,000 a year is more likely to be doing 7%. And I mean, and you see it all over the Fortune 500. I mean, McDonald's does 10 times more advertising than Burger King. Well, guess who's number one? And guess who? And Burger King just fell from 2 to 3. Yeah. Wendy's is now number 2. Oh. And Wendy's and Sonic Drive-In are the ones increasing their marketing budgets. And I think Burger King has the best, actually the best French fries, because what I love about their French fries, when you're eating them, you're always going to find like a tater tot or an onion ring or a surprise at the bottom. But so what you would just tell them to, if you're going to sign up for a PPO and just not even blink and drop your fee a third, you got to man up and raise your. You got to spend 5%. Yeah, 5%.
Save the 25 on the 30. I mean, there's okay. If you're going to spend if you're going to spend 30 to sign up with a PPO. Instead of doing that, spend 5 and promote your practice properly. Okay, you're saving 25 on the 30. Do you understand?
No, I don't understand.
Do you understand?
I'm saving 25 on the 30.
All right.
5%.
All right.
Oh, because I paid 5%.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. So then here's a deal I get all the time. I'm scared. I'm in Ohio. I'm in Ohio, and we're losing jobs to China and Mexico and whatever. And my practice is 85% PPO. Right. What should I just try to market to find this other half, or would you recommend start getting rid of PPOs, or what do you say to the guy? He's been practicing 20 years. He's in Ohio. There ain't nothing. He don't see no cranes in his city. There's no new construction in his city. He's 85% PPO. He's been sitting here 20 years. What would you tell that guy?
Wow, it depends. What's the doctor-patient ratio? Yes, I hear them all the time. What's the doctor? That's why I'm hesitating, because there's not one answer. If the doctor-patient ratio is sound, 1 to 13, 1,400 or above, and there's a pretty stiff corporate presence in the marketplace, and I can tell which half of the market the other dentists in the market are marketing to, I'm moving that person, that dentist, straight up to the top. I'm going to take every dollar they allow me to take, and I'm going to promote to the top of that dental market. Because here's a reality.
Do you think that's going to work? Because you're scaring the shit out of them. Would you tell them to start dropping PPOs?
No. Oh, hell no. 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 We don't necessarily convert people from PPO practices to fee-for-service practice. That's not what we do. We have lots of practices that have 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 insurance plans. We have tons of them, okay? We also have tons of fee-for-service practices.
There might be a kid out there that doesn't understand fee-for-service.
Fee-for-service dental practice is your fee is $1,200, and if your insurance covers $800, that's awesome. But you're going to give me, $1,200, and I'm going to file your insurance electronically. Hopefully, you'll get paid next week. That's a fee-for-service
And
practice.
what percent of the practices are fee for service?
Less than 10%.
Less than 10%. And
Right.
those will likely be rural.
No, no, they're in Phoenix. They're in. That was going to be my point. In every market that, like the one you gave us, like in Ohio, with the industry going away and no cranes in the skyline and all that stuff, all the doom and gloom stuff, I guarantee you in that market there's a fee for service practice doing just fine.
But it's only about a 10%.
Maybe 1 out of 10.
1 out of 10.
Okay, so.
So 9 out of 10 are taking PPOs?
Yep, or they're the corporate entities are taking volumes of patients, because that's normally what happens. They come in like a Pac-Man and go crunch, 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 and they crunch off huge volumes of patients. There's a time frame between them coming in and some of those patients realizing that that's not the solution they desire, so you get a rebound impact. Okay, and so I'm going to go back to what I said before. In that scenario you gave me, if I had an average doctor-patient ratio, and I knew the rest of the dental market was promoting to the bottom, and I know if that's what they're doing, they're eroding each other's marketing message, and I know 47% of those moms, even in that depressed market, will not choose a healthcare provider based primarily on price. I'm going to be the one who puts the message out there that we have great dentistry here without all the offers. And that dentist will get an ROI on that investment, whereas if we went to the bottom half of the market, that message would be mixed in with the other 10.
And let's go to the other end of the extreme. What would that dentist to population ratio have to be before you said, dude, if you can sell your office to anybody, you know, the greater full theory, this stock is so high priced, so hopefully there's some idiot
Who's dumber
than me that'll buy it. What is it, a dentist to population ratio where you kick in the greater full theory and say, man, if someone will buy my practice, I should just move. I should find another place.
Yeah, there's a point where
You ever tell
Yes, several times.
fight or get the hell out.
Well, there's another.
You do tell people get the hell
Yes, but there's another option. There's a middle option. The middle option is to consolidate the market,
Yeah.
buy practices. So because we get calls from dentists. There was a call the other day from a dentist from Michigan, from I think it was Lansing, East Lansing maybe, where it's a 1 to 400 market. He's been there for 15 years. He's in his second marriage. He's in hock up to his eyeballs. He can't leave. He just signed a 10-year lease. He'd be dead and get divorced, and his kids would leave him. Whatever. Just this total sob story about where he was. So he doesn't have the choice to leave. He can't leave. So the other choice was consolidate the market, buy practices, because you can't be the only guy in that situation, not in a 1 to 300. There's probably 10 practices around you who are looking for next Tuesday's first patient just as much as you are. Why don't you guys go talk to each other, right? And consolidate these patient records maybe into a super practice and build something out of this thing. You can consolidate a dental market.
I have lectured around the world. Me and Ryan were just in Singapore, and there were a couple of Americans in that office that had that whole deal. They walked from the whole country. They just left it all.
Wow.
Yeah, they're expats.
Went to Singapore where there's no insurance.
Yeah.
There's no insurance, and they're just kicking ass. And they're like, they left and said, whatever you guys figure it out, I am out of here.
Yeah.
So you forgot to add you could move to Singapore.
Yeah, you could. Or
So what is the average for dentist population ratio for the whole America?
1 to 1,600.
16.
And when I got out of school, I think it was 1 to 1850. Would that be right?
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are dental schools. I mean, I got to Phoenix, Arizona, no dental schools. Now Phoenix has 2.
Yeah. Well, there's one
Nevada
here.
had none. Now
There's one here.
One in Nevada.
Vegas.
Utah had none. Now they have 2.
Yeah.
So they're building. I think they've added 7 dental schools in the last 10 years.
But isn't it interesting that politically we keep getting told we have an access to care problem? Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
I think like say, having lectured all over in India, Brazil. Let's just take those 2 examples. I mean, Brazil has 200 million people. We have 330 million. So for every 3 Americans, there's 2 Brazilians, and they have more dentists than America.
More dentists than you.
And they have 100 million less people. And when I'm in Brazil, I'm like, dude, if the dentists don't go to the government and start closing down and controlling these schools, because I don't want to go to have my kidneys checked and the kidney doctor's saying, well, if I don't do a kidney transplant, I'm not gonna eat and feed my family. I don't want hungry doctors.
No.
I mean, I don't want that. And I think America better wisen up, and they better start joining the American Dental Association. They should start sit there and saying, because the ADA is accrediting these schools. Mm-hmm. There's accreditation agencies, and if they don't start seriously thinking about this, because it's the same thing in India. They open up a private dental school. Malaysia has gone from 4 to 12 dental schools in the last 5 years.
Wow.
And it's Malaysia. That's not Las Vegas.
Yeah.
There's not a bunch of free money around ever. So you go, so supply and demand. At the end of the day, supply and demand is real.
Yeah.
You can't make that shit up.
It's king. Yeah.
And you can't avoid it.
So any final thoughts? Email me, Howard at Dentaltown. I want to do my practice survey. And then I want to ask you another thing is, I see this all the time, even in my own backyard. I think the last time I used with Sandy Perdue, but no, not Sandy Perdue, with Sandy Wilkinson.
Oh, okay.
And she retired from my office. She just when she had her, we both have one granddaughter, and but when her daughter had a granddaughter and said, "God, Mom, I wish you didn't have to work so you could be my babysitter," she quit the next day. Yeah. And it's like, thanks for the 15 years. And but I see dentists leaving their house in the suburbs of like Chandler or Queen Creek, Arizona, where there is about a dentist for over 1,800, commuting an hour into downtown Phoenix, down to about 1 to 400. And then I'm looking, because I ride my bike 100 miles at a time, and I'm like, dude, if you commuted an hour away from Phoenix, there's towns out there of 2,500 people. Like I rode my bike through this town in Arizona the other day, and the dentist was 77, and I stopped in, I talked to him. You know what he said to me? He has wanted to retire since he's 60. He retires like every 3 years. But the patients are knocking on his door. He's LDS. They're at the LDS church saying, well, my tooth hurts and there's no dentist. And then his wife makes him go back to work. I mean, and they're minors. They have insurance. But he's 3 hours away from Phoenix, and every dentist wants to be able to see the Phoenix Suns and the Arizona Cardinals and go to steakhouses in Scottsdale. And here's some 77-year-old poor Mormon dentist who's probably going to die at the chair.
Yeah.
Right.
And nobody will go there.
No, I know.
How many of these dentists do you think should, right now, if they did their demographics, should be commuting the opposite way?
Exactly.
That's the way it always works, Howard. You can go into any market anywhere, Dallas, Chicago, anywhere in New Jersey for sure, in Phoenix.
Orange County.
Anywhere. You go outside the popular, you go outside the perception of money, and you go out and you're going to find growth. Between city and rural is suburban. And there's always an edge of suburban and rural. There always is, and there always will be.
There's
An edge between suburban and rural.
Oh, okay.
Right? Okay, there always is. There always will be. And you just go out and look at that circle, because it's a circle around every city in America, except for the West Coast, because you have the ocean there. But that's where you look, right? Stop looking in the middle, because the middle is, you aren't the first one. You're certainly...
So you're saying downtown, then the suburban, and then that outer layer.
The outer layer of suburbia.
Just what
Kinda
you were
like
talking
what
about.
is that called that they now found the solar system, the Krypton belt? There's some huge belt of ice crystals all around
The fine.
Pluto way out.
Right, fine. That's the
area.
That's where you go. It's not based on where you want to live. Live in Phoenix. Live in an apartment. Drive.
And I think the commute is going to go away. I mean, one of the biggest game changers that we're going to see, like right now, like I didn't see I missed everything. I mean, I remember when I was at Creighton freshman year on 900 Swanson, some kid named Dave Howman came down and he demoed me this computer from Tandy.
Yeah.
And he demoed it to about 5 of his guys, and he was a computer major. And when he left the room, we all started laughing because we were all pre-dental. We're like, what the hell is this guy thinking about? And he saw it. I didn't. I mean, I can remember seeing the first ATM machine thinking, well, that's a bad idea, because you'd see this poor bastard doing the ATM machine. I'd walk in, cash my check, walk back out, and he's still entering data, but that came about. I didn't see the cell phone come. I didn't see the internet jumping into the cell phone. We're driverless cars are right now here, and so your hour commute is going to be sitting in a box in your lazy boy with your laptop off, doing what you're doing at home. So the commute isn't even going to matter.
Yeah, it's good.
You're just that car is going to drive you to work, and it's going to be no different sitting at home at your desk answering your morning emails than commuting to work.
I'm going to go get commutece.com right now. I'm going to go secure that.
Commutece.com. Hey,
To you a year from them.
when's the last time you put up a CE course on Dental Town? How many CE courses you got on?
We've still got
We
one.
have 7 hours on.
7 hours.
7 hours. Well, talk about that.
Oh, there's if you go to the marketing, if you go to CE, and you go to marketing subject or subhead, you're going to see a webcast, and then you're going to see Dental Marketing Summit segments 1 through 7, and they've been on there now for a little while, about a year or so. And we've had quite a few people take them, probably about 150.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah,
We get a notification when people graduate.
We used to do these live, which was a lot of fun and all of that. But
And it's on the iPhone.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
on the Dental Town app.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And so then a couple of years ago, we decided, well, why don't we just go into the film studio, our own, and film it and put it up on Dental Town in 7 1-hour
You're
segments.
right here?
Yeah.
I live here in Vegas right now.
Yeah, is
That's-
that where the film studio is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's your picture.
Yeah.
yeah. We have a.
Oh, yeah, I've actually never been to your film studio.
Well, we have a facility in Phoenix.
Come on by.
A film studio?
No, we have a production facility in Phoenix on, what is it, Main Street?
Producer?
Cottonwood.
Printing, mail house, fulfillment.
We're our own mail house now, and our own printers.
Next time you're down there, show me.
Yeah,
You got it.
we'll do.
Hey, I want to thank all of you for all that you've done for my dental office personally, all that you've done for all the townies, all that you've done for dentistry. Seriously, you've helped my today's dental. You've helped all my townies on Dental Town. I think the world of you guys. And by the way, these are the real McCoy. These are the real deal. I vouch for that personally, and I make no money off this. They didn't pay me to be here. But wait, that's not true. You're going to buy me a beer.
Okay.
You're going to buy me a beer.
We'll
I'm
buy
just
you
kidding.
two.
All right.
Thanks,
All right.
Howard.
Thanks so much, guys. Thank you so much.